Joey here, ESBR Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Joshua John. Josh, before we get into that fight there, right? So that puts you at 9-2 now. So you came into this fight here tonight in Cardiff off the back of a loss. Now we don't want to dwell on losses, but what's the feeling before the fight when you're coming in off a loss? Are you a little bit more nervous? Have you got a bit more to prove? How do you feel in the head before you get in the ring?
Do you know what? It's a crazy feeling. You know, like obviously I lost against Mark, and I boxed Brett and the fight later, and I'm never a nervous type in the changing rooms, and he was in this venue as well. Never at all. But I can remember sitting here against Brett and thinking, you know, this is crazy, because if I lose again, you know, 2 on the trot, what's going to happen? Same goes for tonight. You know, I was here. I know I can beat that kid. Well, he's not a kid, but a man. You know, I know I can beat that guy. But like you said, coming off a loss, mate, it's like if I lost tonight there bad, you know, I'm nearly 30 now. Basically, probably have to look at different careers. Do you mean? So my whole career was on the line there. It was really on the line. If I messed up tonight, God knows what's going to happen. So yeah, it was really important to get a win.
How do you put that right in your head though? Because you have to box with a certain element of fear, obviously. You have to have that respect for your opponent, but you can't let it creep in too much that you lack confidence in your own ability. What do you have to do then to get yourself ready for going in there and putting on the right performance?
Yeah, so yeah, look, changing rooms for me has always been the hardest thing about boxing. No, getting in there is the hardest thing. The fight is fine. It's the mental thoughts what you go through in the changing rooms, especially after a loss. Like, you know, you do have negative thoughts. Of course you do. You know, thinking like, if I lose this or blah blah blah, or am I going to beat them? Am I fit? I'm super fit, as fit as I've ever been, and I still was having doubts. Am I fit enough to do 6 rounds? You know, I can do 6 rounds in my sleep, but I'm still debating it all the way up until that bell going. Even sometimes in the fight, you think, right, shall I hold back or not? You just do it naturally. You know, I think it all goes down to you're not scared, because if you're scared, you're not getting in that ring. No one's getting in that ring if you're scared to get in there. So, you know, it's okay to be nervous, isn't it? You know, and yeah, we all get nervous. I never used to, but when my career's on the line, my life is on the line, you know, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, then yeah, of course you get nervous then.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a potentially tricky fight for you, not because, you know, you weren't good enough or anything like that, or that he was a particularly high operator, but the guy came in about, call it half a stone, 8 pounds heavier than you. Was there an idea in your mind to say, look, I don't need this, let's call it off? Or why would you get in there with a guy who's effectively significantly bigger than you?
Last night I did say I wasn't going to do it, and that was my final decision, you know. Then I just sat there and I thought for a minute, all that hard work I pull in is going to go to waste if I don't fight this guy tomorrow. Then I just thought to myself, you know, half a stone heavier, yeah, it's a lot, but I know he weren't as more skillful than me, and he ain't better than me, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a fight and let's see where he's going. And that's what I done, and I stood toe to toe with him, and I'm happy with my performance, because like we said, if he weighed in 8'6", bantam, and I weighed in 8'6", I don't think he would have been able to stand there with me tonight.
And he did catch you a couple of times, but that's not necessarily because, like you said, he was better than you, but you stayed in the pocket a bit longer tonight. We talked off camera just before it that you said, I want to sit down on my shots a bit more. Do you feel like you were successful in that area? Were you able to hit him with some of the shots you've been working on?
Yeah, so, yeah, like we spoke before, my plan was tonight to not just, you know, box, move, make a miss. I could have done that tonight. He wouldn't have caught me once if I didn't want him to, you know, but I wanted to see what I can deal with, and the reason why we got him over was so he can weigh in a bit lighter and I can have a little toe-to-toe with him and see where I'm at. But he came in half a stone, like we said. So my plan was then, all right, you know, first 2 rounds, we'll box him, see how strong he is. He wasn't too strong, as in punching wise. So yeah, I thought I stood there with him. I didn't do everything I wanted to do. Maybe that is due to the weight, but I did get some shots off which I don't normally get off, and I was happy with them.
And again, don't want to dwell on losses and so on, but talking about where you've been in your career and where you might want to go, unfortunately for you, the losses came at sort of step-ups, you know, where there was the Celtic title and so on. Is there a plan for you to rebuild to get back to that level? Or do you want to, I don't know, how do you see the rebuild going and the sort of the progress for you as you approach, like you said, the age of 30?
Yeah, I just don't feel like I need to rebuild, as in, like, you know, I could have jumped straight in the title fight tonight, and I would have if Chris said we had a title fight, or Tony said, I would have jumped straight in. I don't need to rebuild, but I'm glad. Like Tony said earlier, you needed that fight, and I did need that fight. It was good. Now I'm ready to go again, but like I said, I'm 30 now, so I ain't gonna waste a year building, fighting people like him, 6 rounders, trying to gain experience so I can win these titles. I'm ready for these titles now. Just finding the right weight, and I think bantamweight is going to be my right weight. So yeah, that's a plan. The minute we have a phone call for a bantamweight title, I just hope I don't have a phone call for an heavier title, and I know I just can't say no. I'm going to say yeah, then I'm back to square one. Then I just need to learn to say no and concentrate on getting down and fighting at the weight I should be fighting at.
I think that's a pretty good summary there, Josh. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Congratulations. We'll see you out again soon.